Good afternoon, sports fans. Duncan Maxwell here from the Energy Clinic. What I wanted to run through with you today was positioning of the scapula, or the shoulder blade. So the big bone that sits through the back there. What we find more often than not when people first come to the studio, there's a real disconnection with their ability to control where that scapula sits, especially when we start loading it. Now, loading it can be anything from a push-up to a pull mechanics, single hand, working with kettlebells, overhead pressing, whatever it happens to be. If that shoulder blade can't find a good stable position to work from, what happens is the wrong muscles will kick in to perform whatever movement you're trying to do. For example, if I'm doing a push-up and that shoulder blade isn't able to stay down in position, as I start lowering myself to the ground, you can see my shoulder starts popping up, my chest is thereby unable to contract properly to get the force out to drive me back up again. What's happening is my shoulders, deltoids, all the muscles in around there are starting to work a lot harder than they should. The same thing will happen with row mechanics. As I row, that shoulder comes out of position. All of a sudden, again, lots of tension through my upper shoulders, very little tension through the muscles that I'm actually trying to work through the back. If I take a row, you can see it quite clearly here. Take a cable row. This is good position where I'm going to use the lats. I'm going to draw that shoulder down. I'm going to use my mechanics in the right order, so I'm going to get scapular depression, I'm going to get rotation, and then lastly, I'm going to get biceps just a little bit. This is a back exercise, thereby not an arm exercise per se. Back working to arm. Nice clean mechanics. What you see generally when people are in the fitness studios or centers is they're firing in the wrong order. What will happen is that arm will bend first, so getting a lot of stress through the bicep. That shoulder will tend to pop out of position and then they pull through. My back's no longer doing much work at all. So I need to be able to keep that shoulder down to be able to get the big muscles working through that posterior shoulder. Same thing with push-ups. If I'm unable to keep the shoulder down in position, what will happen is I go down, that shoulder will drift up out of position. No chest work, a lot of shoulder work. And so what I'm going to find is, as I'm working through my routine in the gym, I'm doing back work, I'm doing flies, I'm doing kettlebell swings, overhead press. My shoulders are working harder and harder and harder all the time because I'm unable to control that position of my shoulder blade. And then your shoulders will fall out on you and go on holiday. Basically, they'll pack up, you'll get bursitis, you'll get inflammation, and you won't have happy shoulders. Just being able to find that shoulder in the pocket. Lats are the key. Even while you're driving, while you're sitting at your desk, think about where your shoulders are sitting. I guarantee you, if you're driving and typing and talking and your shoulders are constantly falling out of position, hiking up here, you will not be able to keep them in position when it counts, when you're starting to pull or push heavy loads. Practice what you preach. If you're going to have good row mechanics or push mechanics in the gym, you've got to practice good scapular position outside the gym. Keep it working, keep that posture nice and sound in the pocket equals healthy shoulders. Hope this helped.